What is going on, everybody? I'm back again with another video. I'm back again in beautiful Yerevan, Armenia. And today I'm gonna be walking near the Republic Square area. It's an area that I haven't explored yet, which is full of a couple of local parks connected together. Then I wanna check out the largest cathedral in Armenia, which is not too far from that area. So I'm gonna be exploring like that other part over there. Like I say, many blocks around the city are pretty worth to look at. I want to check out the architecture. So going with the flow, and if I see anything interesting to film for you guys, then I'll film it. So without further ado, join me. It's actually Monday morning, but a little bit on the cooler side, but still, I think the vibes are going to be pretty nice today. Today's a little bit cloudy than the other days when it was sunny, and a little bit colder, but not too bad. It's not too windy, so it's comfortable for me to walk around. Here's Busan Street near the plaza, so I'm gonna study the map and figure which route should I take. Here, like always, beautiful. Today is not really that busy, but I think later you're gonna see some more action. Like I say, it's only like 10 in the morning, so but let's walk forward. I think I'll do one more block, and then it should shortcut me into the local part that I want to check out to see what's going on. And like I mentioned many times, the city is super walkable, so you can literally walk anywhere over here. I got my watch to measure how many steps I'm going to be taking today. I wanted to take the subway to another neighborhood, but I think I'm going to leave that for tomorrow or the next day, and film and see what's out there, because I got a few things to do later. But I'm going to make a video around the area right here. I gotta tell you, people are organized. They drive really fast over here, but the good thing is that they respect the pedestrians. Like when I was literally crossing the street, I didn't manage to capture it, but the cars, they stopped for me and the other people to cross, because we had the right to cross the street. If you go to another country, mostly like in the Philippines, even if the pedestrians have the right, the cars, they just keep on passing by. So a little bit of a different culture shock, But yeah, let's keep walking to see what can we find. And you see the streets, no litter, no rats, no roaches. One more block ahead is the blue mosque that I filmed in one of my previous videos. And you can see the trees, they have no leaves because it's still winter out here. So you see the buildings here, they got like business on the first level. And here, look at this architecture, vibrant, and you can literally shortcut through the other side. So yes, like I tell you, the city center is not really that big, but you never get bored because there's so much to do. There's always action, and no matter how the weather, the time of the day is, people are out and about out here. So the next street ahead of me, I'll make a left. I never walk on this side. The architecture is beautiful, but it would shortcut me towards the parks that are past Republic Square. And here you see what's going on. Cannot cross now, so I'll just wait. There goes an ambulance over here. This is some of the modern buses in Yerevan. But here, I want to show you the older bus. They got like these two antennas that connect with the screen, so that's pretty cool. Here you can see how busy the street is. And I'm loving this building over here, like the balcony. It looks pretty nice. Like I say, every single building that you look in Armenia is just gorgeous. It's my first time to walk around this side, but like I say, according to the map that I was looking, it could shortcut. So even though the city's walkable, there's like many shortcuts to get from one side to another one pretty easily. Like I said, they got like multiple little local parks next to each other, so I want to check it out. And then I want to go towards the Mayor Cathedral over here to see what's going on. Like I said, Armenia is literally filled with cathedrals all over. The first place to adopt the religion of Christianity. Pretty rich in history out here. Yeah, they got the cobblestones right here in the sidewalk. And this is like an exchange center or a little supermarket. They also got like little pharmacies all over. So like I say, everywhere is just convenient. Yeah. You got, like we say in here, a corner store, bodegas. You got like little corner stores, you got restaurants, or anything you need within walking distance from where you're staying. So they got like three little parks next to each other. One is Children's Park, English Park, and Vardanians Park, which is kind of like a little plaza by Beirut Street. So like I say, I'm gonna see what it is. You know, and the map, it looks pretty cool. So I'm gonna walk around. Like I said, I'm gonna be focusing more in the parks and the cathedral today. But if there's anything interesting that I think is worth to film, then I'll showcase you guys. So I'm kind of being a little bit semi-spontaneous today, but yeah, I think a block over here is the park that I want to see. This over here is Children's Park. They even have a couple of rides here, and pretty expansive. It will be actually much nicer in the summertime or in the spring when the leaves come out to take a peek at it. So I'm gonna figure to like an entrance over here so I can walk inside and take a little peek of the park. And to my left, it seems like they're gonna build something. I see some modern buildings in this side. You know, most of the buildings in Yerevan are old, but it got a couple of modern architecture out here. So yeah, the park seems like it's a little bit dead. But I know there's another one in the middle, so I'll figure my way around there. Like I say, this is not too far from Republic Square. You know, I always walk near the Marriott, and then that's it. I go towards Northern Avenue, but this is like the other side. They got more going on right here. I also see like a big monument towards this side. Looking at this building, it looks like the courthouse in the Bronx, New York. A little bit of similarity like that. And you see a little intersection. It's not too busy today. Oh, they got a hotel, Best Western Hotel Plus. A couple of scooters that you can rent. And then this. Actually, I think the park in the middle is actually more busier. This is, like I said, the Children's Park, but I don't think there's anything pretty interesting to look at. All I see is like a little statue in the middle right there. So I'm just making it towards Vardanian's Park. It's the one that looks actually more interesting. And I don't know if they renovate this, you know, because sidewalks, they look pretty nice. Like I'll show you, see? And like I say, I think when the weather is nicer, like in the summertime, it'll be even better to walk around here. But so far it's looking nice and cool, you know, just obviously because it's cold outside, you're not gonna see the leaves. But that's how it is in a lot of country. And for this trip, I didn't buy a pair of gloves either, so. But it's okay, you know, I got a good solid jacket. And this jacket is good because most of the times when I was in New York, I would wear like a hoodie inside and some layers. I'm only wearing like a t-shirt inside and I feel comfortable. So yeah, I mean, also like, even though the temperature is low, it's not windy, so it feels actually pretty nice. Or at the end over here, it looks pretty nice. Here you got like an open space. I think there's all like some fountains. But obviously, because you know, it's cold, it doesn't make any sense to keep them on. I came like 8 months ago during the May season, and it was pretty nice, but I missed this area. I never got to check out this area over here. But look at the design. So if I ever come back when the weather's warm, I'm gonna come and walk around here in this park. It's looking pretty lovely, and it's actually pretty massive. And here we got this over here, this monument. Wow, it's looking pretty nice. And it has like a few little statues of kids playing around. Not sure if in the summertime over here water might come out. I could be wrong, but so far it's looking, you know, gorgeous, the structure. See how nice it is. I think this is called Alexander statue. Could be wrong. But yeah, it's nice. There's also police like in the other side. I literally saw cops in the other park that I wanted to go, so could be a little intimidating, but hey, I think they're actually pretty nice. But yeah, you see how massive this plaza is all the way towards the other side. If you keep going straight, that would be Republic Square right there. So gonna study the map to see what else can I check out around here. I'm just realizing that the other park that's next to this one, which is right here, has the Italian embassy. So that might explain why I see police right there in the entrance. It's okay, there's plenty of other streets here for me to walk. So gonna check out other streets. And I think there's like a little shortcut through a little neighborhood. So I'll probably take a little peek over there to see what's going on. And by the way, the name of the cathedral that I'm gonna check out is called St. Gregory The Illuminator Cathedral. And it's believed to be the biggest cathedral in Armenia. Never knew that I was right here. Like I said, I keep on exploring. Thanks to my stepdaughter for showing me the picture and recommending me to check it out. So I'm gonna go walk towards there in a bit, but I'm gonna see what else can I find in some of the regular streets out here in Yerevan. So this hotel's called the Best Western Congress. So maybe a lot of diplomats or important people, they stay out here. Of course, because of the buildings of Republic Square, and then seeing that the Italian embassy is right there. It might make sense, you know. It might make sense where you see more police presence out here on this side. But no matter where you go in Yerevan, it's a super, super safe city. Of course, like any other place, I guess you just got to be aware of your surroundings, but pretty lovely city out here. This little street here looking pretty nice. You know, the buildings are smaller and darker, but they look cool. You got a dark building. It keeps going over this way. I've never been in this part of the city, but so far it's looking good. And we have a plaza over here, Elite Plaza to my left. You have the cars parked over here. Like I said, they're pretty organized in terms of parking their car, you know. But yeah, I think this is the other street that I want to merge and see what's going on. So what they have here, game zone or a sports bar. And there's a pedestrian area that I can cross right here and it would take me into the other park. So I'm probably gonna go check it out. This building looks like it's a gold color, even has palm trees. Wonder how it survives in the weather here that gets pretty cold. Made it here to English Park. They had like an entrance over that way and I couldn't resist to come and check it out, you know. Not really much going on because like I say, it's cold, but you got the workers over here maintaining the park pretty clean, you know. And it feels like if I'm in Washington Square Park in New York, like the same concept, the same architect right here. So they got like a little ride there, but it seems like it's a little bit abandoned, but yeah, so far pretty cool and pretty chill. Got this here, I'm not sure if they have like a planetarium over here. I hear like, you know, some noise in the inside. Might be interesting if you're into science. And there's a fountain in the middle, but like I said, because it's cold, it's off right now. But yeah, so many cool things that you wander around that you find in Yerevan. This is what the park looks like. People are still out here. And compared to many parks back in the States, super safe out here, you know. Clean, organized, you don't see homeless, you don't see people doing illegal activities. It's just super safe for you to wander around. As it should be, you know, parks should be built for the people. Come hang out, whether you're alone, with your family, children, you know, it should be a place for you to recreate and hang out together with your loved ones. And I tell you, if you think it looks beautiful now, imagine how it's gonna look like in the summertime when all the leaves are outside. I'm pretty sure all these parks over here in Armenia are gonna be even more vibrant with people. So yes, but I still love this vibe, you know, I still love what I see out here. And it might not be a big deal, but I see a little bit of a street art over here. Not gonna show you one of the corner, but I'll show you the other side. It's nothing special, but I don't know, I just think like it looks like cool. Here, I'm trying to cover what it says in my hand, but see, it looks like a train or something, like something abandoned, and then you get like the buildings in the back. Now let's head back into the streets, Moffset Street, because I see some interesting things ahead of me before I made a detour in the park. I think they got like a gold market, a couple of restaurants, so I even saw the Persian flag, so I think it's gonna be pretty interesting. This is like the little entrance of the park, like this. Have the ceiling and the roof. So now we're just gonna hit the streets. Here the architecture a little slightly more different than in the other side of the city center, but it still looks pretty cool. Oh, look at this cat. Is this like a Persian cat or, let me see. Hey cat. Hey, you're just walking away from me. You know, here's gonna be interesting when I walk ahead, so excited to see what can I find. I was gonna walk towards that street, but I think it's gonna be even nicer if I go this way, because I'm seeing a couple of flags ahead of me. I'm seeing like a movement of people, and there's actually a modern building right there to my end. Looks like a condo or an apartment complex. This building looks like gold, even though it's not real gold, but the shiny of it. No matter where you go in this city, you're always gonna find something pretty interesting going on. So it seems like this is the jewelry district. You see them all over here. They sell jewelry. I don't want to point the camera towards it, but lots of jewelry is next to each other. So yeah, very cool. And then here ahead, I see a lot of guys hanging out. Not sure if it's a coffee shop or what it is, but it looks cool. And it's just like a little local old street right here. Guess they're just lining up to get coffee out here. See, and then this will take me into the other side where they got this park that goes literally around the city center, and that's where the mayor church should be. So like I say, man, So many cool things to see out here. I just gotta study the map a little bit and figure which way do I go. I also heard there's like a big market, Armenia Market. I think it's a little bit more of a walking distance, a little bit further from my accommodation, but I'm not too far. Maybe I'll check the map and take a peek at it. Now I'm just gonna make it towards this way. Well, they got a couple of suit shops over here that look pretty cool. And then ahead of me, I'm seeing the church that I want to check out that I had no idea was right here. So I'm gonna walk over there and figure how do I cross the street towards the other side. I'm pretty sure they have like a underpass that you can go under the street and then make it towards the other side. But this is the beginning of this little circular park that literally surrounds most of the city center right here in Yerevan. It's what you see, like a different vibe. Wonder what that is, that building. It looks pretty interesting, like the architecture. Gonna go in my Google Maps and check it out. I think this is actually a little mini mall, Rosia Mall. I could be wrong. Yeah, I think it's actually a mall, but look at the architecture, how strange it is, right? But pretty interesting at the same time. This way I can cross. They have like an amusement park right here, and the church should be right there in my left side. So pretty easy to cross out here to the other side. And this is the other angle of I was walking. I was literally walking over that way. Pretty interesting to see all this, you know. It's like a first for me. And then, like I said, they got like the pretty unique architectural mall. Now I'm gonna walk this way because I saw some major stairs, and it's probably like the stairs that would take you right into the church. Here I'm getting close to the church. They have a huge monument over here and people are looking at it. And the church is literally right that way. So it looked like it's right here, but I guess how massive it is a little bit of a walk. So I'm gonna do a little bit of a workout to go on top over there. Here we got the monument and the church over that way, so it's looking pretty cool. And then this is the entrance right here. Pretty big and massive, the stairs. So I like how they have the two options if you want to take the stairs or take the ramp. So I think it makes it pretty accessible from people of all ages or people who have health conditions and they can't really take the stairs. They could just take the ramp little by little. And here I'm making it to St. Gregory. So doing a little workout, but I think it's gonna be worth it once I make it over there to the top of where the church is. And this is, you know, I don't know why, it's kind of giving me a little bit of a vibe of Taj Mahal, and they got the surroundings of the area, you know, and pretty gorgeous. Like this is it right behind me with the pine trees and everything. So I'm gonna make it over there in the top and see what all the vibes right there. Wow, even here you got doggies chilling. But yeah, the building is actually big. And then you get this, you see construction happening around the city. 360 view of what's going on. And then there's like a regular neighborhood or a village out there, so it's pretty interesting. Yeah, so this district looks different than the other areas that I've been exploring in the city center, but you know, pretty common everywhere that you go. So, you know, in a lot of parts of Yerevan, they got like little mini districts like this. I heard even one of the oldest districts, which I think is Khan district, you know, it's pretty much narrow street. On one side of the church, you see the older part, and then on the other side, which is in front of me, you see the modern part. See the modern buildings over here that are being built up. Went inside and pretty peaceful vibe. Wow, you can hear the ambulance or police from right here, but yeah, very peaceful vibe that's going on in the church. So, you know, anybody's free to go inside, you know, and pay their respects. It's like the outside to prove you how big it is. You got this, you got the second structure, and then a massive park out here with the mountains and a lot of developments happening in the mountains. I think that's not far from Mother Armenia statue, which I filmed the last time I came out here. I'm gonna continue walking. There's like a little street, not sure if the Google Maps is telling me the truth, but I'm kind of curious and I wanna check it out, and then I'll pass by the what's it called? Vernissage Market. I did film it the last time I came, but I wanna see what's happening over there, and then I'll just probably call it the end of the day for today. Yeah, I'm back in the center of the street, and you can see how it changes from the church towards over here, you know, pretty busy, but I want to find out that little alleyway that I see in the map, and maybe I can just shortcut towards where the market is. This is what the street looks like, pretty beautiful. It looks like the other area where I'm staying. you know, a lot of similarities and a lot of shops happening out here in Busy. You know, people are out and about walking towards their destination, so very fashionista, you know, they got a good swag of outfits out here. And then you can see the sidewalks, how wide they are, you know. We got like a little store here, nice. Entrance. There goes some of the bus. Wow, they got many styles of buses out here. I'll be confused of which one to take. Wanted to take that little tiny shortcut, but it's closed because they're building like new modern buildings. So I guess it used to be like a old district with older buildings, but now they're tearing it down to build like the high-rise buildings I was showing you guys. See? So they tore it down. Now they're gonna build like modern buildings in Yerevan. So they're doing their best to develop and make the area nice. This little street that I'm shortcutting towards where the market, it looks actually pretty cool. Like a little bit tighter than the other streets that I walk by, but the architecture is pretty gorgeous. Right here, you see? So despite the city center not being too big, it's like different areas that you walk around, they look different from other areas. Here's what I'm talking about. You see the old buildings, and then here, they're building new ones. I guess it used to be like an old little village. Hey dog, what's up? Look at this dog. You all right, dog? Running away. Dogs all over, but they're friendly. But they're building, you know, modern buildings. So I guess they tore down the old buildings or old houses, and now they're building like modern. Not sure if it's gonna be condominiums. Oh, this is what they're gonna build. Looking pretty cool so far, so. But the way out of architecture, I guess they try to preserve it like if it's an old architecture. Not sure if it's gonna have like pedestrian areas, but when they build like a newer building, it seems that they do their best to maintain the building like walkable for the people, you know, and they build it for the people. So here's see another rendering of what they're trying to renovate. So it's cool that they keep the old historic building and then they build like the modern one on top without having to destroy this one. So the rendering over there is how it's gonna look like. It's pretty strange, but something unique and different. And then the local outdoor market is right there ahead of me. I mean, they close like around 6 o'clock, and then they got the local park. The Republic Square Metro is right this way, so. But this building is looking gorgeous. I'm gonna walk in the corner and capture it. Look at this building here, the architecture, how nice it is. And super chill, they see you got another local park right here, connected with the outdoor market. So they sell a lot of souvenirs and stuff. But now that I walk, I want to mention something. I saw something pretty interesting that I wanted to take back home, like a little, I think it's like a little, not sure if it's like a coffee cup or something, but decoration. So I asked a gentleman how much was it, and he said he literally went in the calculator, and it seems like he put his own price, 50,000 drams. Yo, that's like $100 for something small. So I just went to another store that's nearby, and I bought 2 beautiful coffee cups for a very good price. So, you know, just be careful with the prices and make sure you ask the price and, you know, use your common sense when you go to markets like this. This is the outdoor market, Vernissage Market, so, you know, pretty much similar concept, clothes and everything. Mostly like souvenirs. If you want souvenirs and stuff, then maybe you'll like it out here. This is the market behind me, and it keeps going on the other side, but I went to this store over here, and they sell a lot of great souvenirs, you know, great souvenirs and pretty fair prices, so that's why I prefer to shop. Being a little interesting day, you know, like I said, I did a little spontaneous activity here, checking out the parks and heading towards the church. But you see, no matter what I try to film, even if it's something basic, you always see a lot of things happening here in the city. So gonna conclude the filming for now. Maybe I'll cover 1 or 2 more neighborhoods throughout my stay here, and then in a few days I'm heading to a neighboring country nearby. You probably guessed it already. But I'm gonna start wrapping up my video here. You know, it's been an awesome evening, so that was the end of my video. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Stay tuned for more. Be safe out there, everybody. God bless y'all, and peace.